Hi, welcome back to my book club. My name is Hunter, I'm a therapist, and together we're reading The Happiness Trap by Russ Harris. And today's video is chapter 15, Tame It with Kindness. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe. I put up videos like this every single week. If you need caught up on the previous videos, head to the link in the description. And without further ado, let's get into chapter 15. What's this new age BS? That was Carl's initial response when I suggested a kind hands exercise. Quite a few people are initially reluctant to try such an exercise because they think it's weird, flowery, or too touchy-feely. However, almost always, when people unhook from their doubts and judgments and actually try it, they find it's a very effective method for simultaneously unhooking, making room, and practicing self-compassion. Personally, kind hands exercises are Harris's go-to whenever he's feeling intense emotional pain. So even if you're highly skeptical, he encourages you to experiment with this process and notice what happens. In exercise, in kind self-touch, get yourself into a comfortable position, and if a difficult feeling is not already present, trigger one as described in the previous chapter. Some ways to trigger or come up with a difficult feeling is thinking about a stressful current event, maybe going through your memories and sitting with a time that you felt sad or maybe angry or alone. And once you have that feeling, here's how you do it. Notice where in your body you feel it most. Where is it? What is it like? Now take one of your hands and turn it palm upward and see if you can fill this hand with a sense of kindness. You've used this hand in a lot of ways. Maybe you've held someone else's hand when they're upset, or cuddled a crying baby, or hugged a distressed friend. So put that sense of kindness into your hand right now. Now rest this hand gently on your body, either on top of the feeling or on top of your heart, and see if you can send the kindness inward. You might feel it, imagine it, or sense it. Let your hand rest or hover there, lightly and gently. Imagine your body softening around the pain. Now use both of your hands. Place one of them over your heart and the other on your stomach, and let them gently rest there. Hold yourself kindly and gently, and silently say a few kind words to yourself, the sort of thing you'd say to a loved one who is feeling something similar. If you're not sure what to say, try, "This really hurts, be kind," or "This is difficult, but I can do this." Not trying to get rid of your pain, but rather making room for it, while bringing this exercise to an end and having a stretch and moving your body and engaging with the world around you. Again, just like the last chapter, rewind this video and try it for yourself, or pause the video and try it at your own time. And when you've returned, I have a question for you. How did it go? If you didn't get much out of it, maybe it's not for you, Harris says. But he encourages you to try it once more using the suggestions below. As an alternative to the exercise, you might like to experiment with some of these options. Placing both hands on your chest or both on your tummy, hugging yourself gently, or gently massaging an area of tension or tightness. On to urge surfing. Have you ever sat on the beach and watched the waves? A wave starts off small and builds gently. It continues to grow, and then once the wave is crested, it gradually subsides. When urges show up, we usually respond with obey mode, giving into them, or struggle mode, resisting them. In urge surfing, we neither give in to or resist our urges. Instead, we open up and make room for them. So urge surfing means exactly what it says. We treat our urges like waves and surf them until they dissipate. Do keep in mind this isn't a way to avoid or get rid of our urges. We are allowing them to rise and fall in their good time without acting on them, which naturally begs the question, how long do urges last? Most urges, from the start to the end of one wave, last about 3 minutes, although sometimes they can go for longer. Sometimes when Harris says this, people protest that their waves go on and on for ages. To which he compassionately replies, "Yes, that's right, and there's a good reason for it. You're resisting them." There are so many ways to resist our urges. We may fight them, ruminate about them, or try to distract ourselves. And when we respond that way, yes, that does make them go on for ages. Here's urge surfing in a nutshell. To surf an urge rather than be wiped out by it, we slightly modify the tame technique. We take note, we notice and name the urge. We allow the urge permission to just be there, to let it be. We make room for it, allow it to freely rise and peak and fall in its own good time. And we expand awareness. We broaden our focus, we acknowledge the urge, and also connect with our body and the world around us. The main modification to the tame technique is that while we're doing this, we think of the urge as a wave. And to help with this, we can score the urge on a scale of 0 to 10. This enables us to keep track of whether it's rising, peaking, or falling. For example, I'm having the urge to smoke, and it's now a 7. Oh, it's rising to an 8, and now it's a 9. Still at a 9, now dropping to an 8, now down to a 6, and so on. For an added boost with this practice, we can bring in kind words and kind hands. We can silently say to ourselves, "This is difficult, but I can surf this." Or, "I'm so tempted to obey this urge, but I'm going to let it rise and fall without acting on it." And we can lay a kind hand or two on the body, as described earlier. Now that we're at the end of the chapter, let me speak more about the two things that Harris brought up, the kind hands exercise and the urge surfing. For the kind hands, I want to do a pro and a con. The con first is that it's not always accessible. You know, with Tame and Ace, you can take a deep breath and you can tame your emotions kind of wherever you are without being too intrusive. Versus with the kind hands, it does require you to, maybe be a little silly and put your hands on different parts of your body that need a little kindness. For the pro, if you do have a private moment or you are going through some difficult thoughts and feelings when you're alone, having some kind hands to yourself sounds like it would be really useful. He had described it as, these hands have held someone else's hand when they're in trouble, or these hands have hugged a loved one. I think that sentiment is really nice, and having that kindness back to yourself sounds like it could be helpful, even though I can acknowledge it might not be helpful for everyone. Something I did think that was accessible to everyone was the urge surfing, and I would really encourage you to try it out for yourself for any urges you have throughout the day. Even if it's something small like, oh, I'm having the urge to eat some sweets. Right now it's at a 4 because I just had lunch and I'm not really that hungry for sweets. And maybe throughout the day it goes up to a 6 and maybe an 8. But then you have a choice for your choice point. Do you want to eat sweets? Does it align with your values? If you value health and fitness, maybe it doesn't align with your values. Maybe you don't want to act on that urge. And maybe as you ride the urge throughout the day, it goes from that 6 to an 8, back down to a 6, back down to a 4. I think it's really, really interesting, and it can be used for so many different things. That's probably my favorite part of the chapter. And with that, thank you for reading this chapter with me. Make sure to like this video if you liked it, and subscribe. I put out videos like this every single week, and it really helps my channel. Tune in next week for our next chapter, Chapter 16, Being Present. I'll see you next week.